Evening viewers. Herbert Robert William Hennis, aka Owen Reed. Go to That Old Guy Australia, my YouTube channel. Please push like and then push subscribe. It's not a big deal, it's free, but it helps me enormously, it really, really does. Look, I've got some news that's really disturbing for us anyway. We know there's people who react to, peanut butter, shampoo, whatever, can't eat prawns, can't eat this, we got people who are allergic to a lot of things. It's an enormous amount of our population. And so this whole idea of the government mandating injections is just so evil. It is pure evil. They're not taking into any consideration anybody's situation, their health or anything. This isn't about health. What they're basically saying is this disease with a 99.7% recovery rate that has a 0.3% chance of contracting, that has a 0.04% chance of turning from SARS-CoV-2, because you can't catch COVID, into COVID, right? 0.4% chance of it developing into that. This is so dangerous that we need you to take an injection that has just as much risk, probably around 0.04% chance or thereabouts, or 0.3% chance of you dying, and probably about a 10% chance of you having a horrible adverse reaction. We know there's been over 80,000 reported, and we know that that's less than 5% of what's actually occurred. We know there's been over 700 deaths, and they're not attributing any. They're just doing everything they can to cover it up, put it down. They're saying they're investigating it. They would need 300 teams of CSI for over a year to investigate all these cases thoroughly, and they're not. They've got their guidelines. They're operating the same guidelines around every single country. If you don't join some of these groups that I'm in England, Spain, France, America, Germany, all over the place, join some of their groups and you'll see they're having the same debates, the same arguments, the same problems within their health departments, the same issues with doctors. Doctors are gagged all over the planet. It's not just here in Australia. Nurses are gagged. Health professionals are gagged all over the world, not just in Australia. Now, you haven't got to be a rocket scientist to join the dots. You don't. I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious it's stupid. It really is that obvious. It's absolutely so obvious that it's going on in every single country following the same procedures and agendas that people can't see it. It's just, it's mind-boggling. So we had a friend who wanted to keep their job, and they did not want to get injected, but they wanted to keep their job, and they ummed and ahed and carried on. Anyway, long story short, they got injected. 2 days later, had one of the most severe reactions to the injection and ended up in hospital. Bad way, a really bad way. And because the doctors are being idiots. They're too scared to mention anything to do with the injection. No matter what she said to them, they just kept denying it all, saying, no, it's not that. No, you've got neurological issues. You drink too much, whatever. All sorts of crap, which everybody's getting told, They're all getting told the same thing. So in the end, the report came out and mentioned nothing to do with this, and they had on all these bloody statins and God knows what, Anyway, our friend went back to work and ended up back in hospital. And so they kept saying, well, you've got to have a second jab. And she's like, no, look what happened with the first one. I had 2 trips to hospital. I'm on medication for life. I'm in a mess. You're not putting that stuff back in me again. Again, long story short, union action, amazing amount of possibilities, but then no inaction. The government's gone and changed the laws again regarding injections. No exemptions. There is no such thing as an exemption. You just cannot get one. They tell you that you can no longer use a GP. GPs, our medical experts within the community, are banned from issuing exemptions. They're banned. They're banned. They're banned from giving you advice that is outside the narrative of the injection. They're banned from doing that. They can't discuss it with you. And they most certainly can't tell you what the ingredients are, because they don't know. They really don't know. They honestly do not know, because while they're under emergency use, they don't have to provide a list of the ingredients. And no matter what the FDA says, they're only been fully approved under emergency use authorisation. So the TGA comes out, and Scott Morrison says they are fully approved in Australia under emergency use authorisation. It meets all that criteria. So we'll keep emergency going, and then we can keep injecting. It's disgraceful. It's so It's so, it's, how can I put this? It's perfectly evil. Now, this person's going to lose their job because they can't take the injection, and they're saying, no, you're going to have to go and get it, right? So they then said, well, if you want to get an exemption, the new laws are this. You have to go to the nearest major hospital in a major city, and they designate which one it is. For us down the south coast, it's Canberra, all the way to Canberra. And you have to consult with 3 different specialists. There's a cardiac specialist, there's a whatever, virologist, immunologist, whatever. And you have to have all these blood tests done and different stuff's done. And look, they're failing. 8 or 9 out of 10 that apply, they're failing them anyway. And you've got to pay for it yourself. It's not covered by Medicare. So the exemptions are going to be not available. So the government is not about health. They don't care that you've got a disease with a 99.7% recovery rate, that you have a disease with a 0.03% chance of contracting SARS-CoV-2, which we know you can't catch COVID, right? You cannot catch COVID. Let me say it again. You cannot catch COVID. There are no COVID cases. Like they report on the news, 1,000 new COVID cases. Not true. If there were 1,000 new COVID cases, they'd be out in the car park under marquees. They haven't got the beds. They are positive tests to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which they've never isolated. So there you go. We know this. I shouldn't have to go over this stuff. So you have to go and get all these tests done, pay for it yourself, which means they would rather risk you having another adverse reaction or dying than take a chance against this virus, which is minimal. Bad flu at the best, at the worst. Now, I happen to know several people who've caught SARS-CoV-2. I know it. And one who developed into COVID. And he had a hard time. And the reason he had a hard time was because of the way the hospital treated him. The protocols they used and the treatments they used created within him a worse sickness than he had. And he didn't even want to go in. He did not, but they insisted he go in. So it was a big story. But the rest of his family were fine. They didn't get treated the same way. They didn't get put on friggin', am I allowed to say it? I don't know, better not. Anyway, it's remdesivir, which is a drug that they're using, which is fatal. This stuff is just toxic. And when used against this particular virus, it is fatal. It's horrible. And of course, intubation. Then you're stuffed. Anyway, sorry about that. Just got somebody writing to me madly here. So now we know you cannot get an exemption. It's nearly impossible. 1,000 will try, 995 will fail. The government doesn't care. It does not care. You cannot get these exemptions. And they were also told that masks will be mandatory indoors for the foreseeable future. So, you've all gone and got jabbed. You can still catch it, transmit it. I don't give a shit if you think it's minimal. It makes no difference to me. You can still do it. If you can still do it, then you're a danger. You're a threat. You are a threat. You can still kill somebody's grandmother, apparently. You can still kill somebody's baby, apparently. And if you can do that, then you're a danger. Don't try to minimalise by going, yeah, but it's not very high. It's really, really low. If you can do it, you can do it. And fuck around with that. You know? That doesn't mean that a perfectly healthy-looking individual, as Kerry Champ would say, is dripping with COVID. It's ludicrous. Well, you're not dripping with COVID to start with. You only possibly have SARS-CoV-2. You won't see any ads on TV by the government telling you to boost your immune system. There should be health ads on TV. Okay, because one of the ways we know you can fight viruses is to improve your immune system. That should have been the first directive from the health department 2 years ago. Look, what we need you to do, Australians, is work on your gut. You know, that's where everything goes wrong. Work on your gut, work on your immune system. And look, we're going to keep gyms open. We want people to go into gyms. We want people to get healthy. Get yourself a PT. Start walking on the beach. Take a walk. Get exercise. Get yourself going. Motivate yourself. Start eating fresh fruit and veggies. Get more of that into you. The government should be doing this. And then they should have been saying to you this. Look, the SARS-CoV-2 virus only grows in the nasal passages. That's why we swab it. Only in the nose. That's all it can do. So the only place it can grow is in your nose. So what we want you to do is go down to the local chemist, get a bloody, what do they call them? Anyway, nasal rinse, you know, and rinse your nasal passages twice a day, morning and afternoon. That way you'll lessen your chances. That will lessen your chances of catching SARS-CoV-2. In 2 years, there's been nothing spent on this. There's been none of these ads on TV. No medical advice regarding your health from any government department. None. Not improve your diet, not improve your health, not rinse your passages. Get a Neil med. Rinse your passages twice a day. You won't regret it. Trust me, you won't get a flu. But the government's not doing it. So all this shit about caring for your health by people who are protecting pedophiles. Protecting pedophiles. 3 petitions won't overturn the Woods Commission report, won't let us know who the pedophiles are in Parliament who are currently serving and have served us in the past. They're your leaders. These are the people who are telling you what to do. These are the ones that you're obeying and following their directives and orders. These are those people. You're being ruled by people who are protecting pedophiles. So don't preach to me your little gospel about, oh my God, it's all about safety and health. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's all about the kids. The sooner you wake up to that, the sooner you wake up to this, the sooner we can change our society. Once we recognise the evil that's operating in our society, this is all about the children. All about the children. You care about kids? Then you should be petitioning. You should be out in the street marching with these people every Sunday with your sign up saying, release the Woods Commission report. Tell us who those politicians are who are known by police as molesters of children, child rapists. The police know. Scott Morrison knows. John Howard knows. Bill Heffernan knows. They know who these people are. And they put a 99-year suppression order on those findings. It is disgusting. It's so bad. It's so bad. Now I've got Scott Morrison comes up today on a news feed on Facebook. Oh, I can't cuddling a baby. I'll call him the coffee shop and the parents are hold my baby. Whoa, mate, that's not the person you want holding a baby. Jesus, red flag. Oh, he's a Christian. Yeah, he's such a good Christian he won't release a suppression order naming current serving politicians who are known to police as child rapists. So stop your shit. Stop talking to me about this stuff. Get your act together. Start emailing. Start making signs. Get out to the rallies. Make sure you let the government know the pedophiles are out. Pedophiles are out. Child rapists have got to go. We can't have them serving the country, and we certainly can't have them telling us what to do as leaders of this country. They're not frigging leaders if they're raping kids or know who are raping kids and are not outing them. If Brian Houston has been charged for withholding information regarding his father for 30 years as a rapist of children in Hillsong, it wasn't Hillsong, but that'll do me, I don't give a stuff, in Hillsong Church, then Scott Morrison should be charged because he knows, so should John Howard be charged because he knows who those people are who have been raping children and are still there in Parliament, within the legal fraternity and within the security like police. They know. And if they know, they're no less guilty than Brian Houston. So charge the PM. Charge John Howard. Charge all those politicians who know what's in that Woods Commission report. Charge them. Because they've got the power to release that report, those prime ministers, and they're refusing. So you can keep your filthy prime ministers to yourself.